Hello, everybody. Today is May the 1st, and yeah, May the 1st, I'm reading about it. I'm reading about it on Wikipedia, to tell you the truth. International Workers' Day. So, here where I am from, German speaking South Tyrol environment, that is how I grew up. I can say that the May the 1st was never a big thing in my environment, which is white, middle class, Catholic. We never, okay, it was always an off day from work, but it was never really, I was not told why, so we were not really politicized in that sense. Interestingly, in German, there is several names for the day. One of them being Tag der Arbeit, which would be day of the work or Labor Day. Um, Another one would be Tag der Arbeiterbewegung, so that would be the day of the labor movement, or else Internationaler Kampftag der Arbeiterklasse, International Day of the struggle of the working class. In my environment where I am from, if anything, we were hearing about Tag der Arbeit, Labor Day, day of work. So now I'm reading back, where does it come from? Of course, it came from class struggles in the 19th century. And of course, there were the demonstrations of the workers' movements in the late 1900s. And there was the incident in 1886, was it? In May 1886, on the 1st May, there was demonstrations, and a few days later, 4 days later, there was another demonstration where somebody threw a bomb, and the police then shot into the masses, and people were killed on both sides, on the police side and the demonstrator side. And finally, some of the movement organizers, which I think some of them were anarchists. I don't read about it here now. Some of them were executed by hanging. They were killed by the state. It was called the Haymarket Affair in Chicago. Yeah, the people on the 1st of May, they were demonstrating for the workers' rights. So they were demonstrating for the 8-hour workday, you know, for the people to have a workday of 8 hours and not of, I don't know, 10, 12 more hours. Of course, workers' rights struggles, class struggles, which up to today are what we need, because we need justice. So, of course, May the 1st is the day of the international struggle of working class people for their rights. You know, in the end of the day, it's human rights. So the fact that in my environment where I came from, we didn't even talk of it, and if it was mentioned, then we were hearing about Tag der Arbeit, day of labor, day of the work. I find it obviously highly problematic. It shows how there is little to no class consciousness in my, like, let's say, in the environment where I came from, in that middle class, in the white middle class here in the north of Italy, in the south, in the German-speaking part of north of Italy. Yeah, I've been reading about it, about the history. I gotta read more. I think we have to inform ourselves, how did history evolve. And yeah, because it's interesting, because then in 1890 there were demonstrations in many places around the world. Also in Germany, where 100,000 people on the 1st of May were demonstrating. But what happened later? Later on, there was one in Germany. There was one moment in 1929. There was a dispute between the two big parties, the SPD and the KPD, the socialists and the communists back then. And the communists were still calling for the demonstration, even though there was it was forbidden. It was not authorized, the demonstration, but they still called for it in Berlin. And there it came to clashes, and more than 30 people died. So the 1st of May 1929 went down into the history books as the Bloody May, Blutmai. Yeah. What happened later? 1933, the Nazis were already coming to power. And the Nazis, they renamed it, the 1st of May, they renamed it and made it the Tag der nationalen Arbeit, the day of national work, national labor. So here we see where the different connotations come from. So the Nazis in 1933, they were the ones calling it now not again the day for struggle of the working class or working class struggles. No, they call it the day of the national labor. And I tell you, where I come from, most of the people, if they even speak of it, then they call it Tag der Arbeit, day of labor. I find that highly problematic. Yeah, because we need to fight for liberation. Of course, where I come from, as I say, middle class and very Catholic, work itself is often put as a value. You know, like if you're working, you are somebody, you hold value. If you're like work is somehow how does one say? It's a condition even to get dignity, which obviously is highly problematic. And obviously, such a ideology serves capitalism and serves oppressive systems, serves the pyramid, the social pyramid, where a lot of people are oppressed and have to work for the ones holding power, which in the place where I come from was traditionally mingled power between the noblesse, the dukes, and the bishops. So the earthly power and the religious holders of power. For centuries, they were even one and the same person. So there was really no division of power, but it was very hierarchical, a very strict pyramid. Yeah, and then fascism happened, and well, first the empire, the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, which obviously was also very hierarchical, and then later the Nazis and the fascists and the Nazis, and later basically a one-party system in the province where I live. Like after the liberation from after the Second World War, we basically entered a one-party system, which only now slowly is breaking up. What I want to mean is that I think we really have to wake up and get political if we want to have a good life, because we are trained to just serve the system. And even May the 1st, many people around me are just celebrating them. If they even celebrate anything, then they're celebrating like it's not even clear, nothing, but it's the work day. Like, you know, we have this pride in working. I'm a strong worker. Of course, I have nothing against, you know, working. In fact, I count myself a very, 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 very lucky person because I love my work, my job, my work, my profession. I love what I'm doing, and I know it's a big privilege to have a work that I love. I can go and work and get a payment that more or less, yeah, that helps sustain my family and me. Um, but we know we are living in a capitalistic system, and me, I'm somehow part of a declining middle class, or a middle class that is breaking apart. And I at least know that the middle class privileges were never um, earned. So that is the biggest lie I was like, so I was fed with, I was socialized in, meritocracy. I was always made to believe that we have what we have because we are working hard, we are good people, we are hardworking people, and that is why we hold dignity, and that is why we hold what we hold, and that is why we can build our house and run a car and go on holiday once or twice a year. Middle class. I mean, it's a blessing of the universe and those who hold the universe in their hands. I see the as a blessing that I understood quite soon, I guess, like at least in my adolescence, that it's a lie, and that's, meritocracy is a lie, and real capitalism is very real. Capitalism is a reality. So I see it as highly problematic that a lot of people, they talk of Labor Day or Work Day, and they don't see that it's the day of the struggle of people to liberate themselves from the chains of an oppressive system that, that makes many serve the few, that was running the enslavement. And we know that enslavement is still happening today. We know that capitalism is built on enslavement and on oppression, on sucking the energy of the human beings and giving the energy to the few. The worst way to distribute wealth. So we have to change the world because capitalism is very destructive. It runs all these destructive systems: sexism, the patriarchy, the male supremacy patriarchy, racism, white supremacy, running these systems of exploitation, of enslavement, and environmental disaster. Because exploitation, yeah, we are sucking up the planet, destroying it. So today is May the 1st. It's the day of the struggles of working class people. But I would go further and say it's the struggle for dignity in life, the struggles for a dignified life. Of course, back then they were fighting for the 8 hours working day, which was priority. Every generation needs to find a priority and check on where do I set the most important steps? What do I put on my agenda? Today, I think we have to put so many things on the agenda. We have to stop the genocide that is happening against the Palestinian peoples in Palestine, in Gaza, but everywhere in Palestine. Because this genocidal system is exactly the symptom of this overall globalized capitalistic exploitation system. Of course, when we talk of Palestine, when we talk of Gaza, we don't only mean Palestine and Gaza. We mean we need to free everybody. Stop all the wars, stop all the wars, stop all the military industrial complex, stop the capitalistic exploitation of human beings and nature, stop the prison system, stop colonialism. Yeah, we need to work for dignity, and dignity should not be connected to work in a capitalistic sense. Let us remember what the Nazis wrote on the gates of their so-called Konzentrationslager, of their death camps. They wrote, Arbeit macht frei, work makes you free. That should give us much to think about, if we really want to celebrate work, and we have to check it, what we mean by that. So today is May the 1st. For me, it is the day of the liberation struggles of working class people, but basically liberation struggle of every person who has a heart, every person who has empathy, because as long as some of us are oppressed, none of us is really free. So solidarity with all the oppressed people worldwide, solidarity with the people in Palestine, with the people in all places in the world where people are oppressed or living through war, people in Sudan, people in the Congo, people in Tigray, everywhere worldwide. Much solidarity also with the freedom fighters, the freedom warriors, especially the young people who peacefully set up demonstrations and protests. I'm speaking specifically about the pro-Palestinian protests at the universities in the United States, but also in other cities now. They are spreading in France. Now, I think in Germany also we have first little camps. In Australia, in Spain, we are having now, I think, more than 120 pro-Palestinian camps at universities. Tokyo, all around the globe, South Korea. Big up to the young people who are doing it, but also to university staff, to the professors who are joining them in solidarity. Very beautiful protests with diverse people, Jewish people in the first row, of course, Palestinians in the first row, allies together with them of all confessions and non-confessionals, and of all ethnic background. Anybody who has a heart for liberation, human rights, and environmental justice. Peace to all of you.